In the dark sky above planet Zorthan, a massive alien warship floated silently. Its black metal surface reflected the dying light of a nearby star. Inside, General Vorkal stood tall on the command bridge, his red eyes glowing with pride. He had just finished watching a secret video. Earth soldiers screaming, running, falling one by one. Their weapons were weak. Their defenses were broken. Their fear was clear. Vorkal laughed. It was loud, cold, and cruel. His voice echoed through the ship like thunder. "These humans are insects," he shouted. "They cry like children and die like ants. Their planet will fall in less than a week." His army of alien soldiers, the Draxian, stood behind him. They laughed too. None of them feared Earth. None believed humans could fight back. Far away on the blue planet Earth, deep under a mountain base, a small group of Earth's leaders were watching that same video. It had been hacked from the alien ship. The room was silent. General May stood up. Her face was hard, her eyes tired. "He's coming," she said. "Vorkal isn't just laughing. He's preparing to invade." Another leader, Dr. Khalid, looked worried. "Our weapons won't be enough. He has 10 warships and over 1 million soldiers. Earth will not survive this." There was silence again, until someone spoke from the shadows. "There is one more option," the voice said. Everyone turned. It was Director Lin, the head of Project Genesis. "You mean the child?" Dr. Khalid asked, lowering his voice. Director Lin nodded slowly. "He's not like other humans. He was found 10 years ago, after that strange solar event. No family, no ID, nothing. But he draws symbols no one understands, and machines go crazy when he's near." General May frowned. "He's just a child." "Maybe," said Lin. "Or maybe he's something more." In a quiet underground room, a boy sat alone on the floor. He was small, around 12, with dark hair and quiet eyes. In front of him was a blank wall. He drew on it with his finger. No pencil, no pen, just light. Glowing lines appeared where he touched. The symbols were strange. Circles inside triangles, spirals within squares. None of the scientists could read them. But when the boy stopped drawing, the lights in the room flickered. Computers nearby began to glitch. A guard outside the room shivered. "This kid gives me the creeps," he whispered. Inside, the boy finished his drawing and stared at it. His eyes didn't blink. He whispered something only he could hear. "Vorkal." Back in space, Vorkal was preparing for war. "Set course for Earth," he roared. "Let their skies burn and their people scream." The Draxian soldiers cheered. War drums began to beat. Energy cores lit up the ship's engine bay. Suddenly, a small robot flew to Vorkal and showed him a report. Something strange had happened on Earth. A spike in energy, unnatural energy, near a mountain. Vorkal squinted. "What is this?" he growled. "A child," the robot said, confused. "A human child." The energy came from him. Vorkal burst out laughing again. "A child. Earth sends children to fight me. I will crush them faster than I thought." That night, Earth trembled. The sky above the mountain base flashed red. The boy stood at the window. He looked up, as if he could already see Vorkal's ship coming. He didn't speak. He just raised his hand and touched the glass. Where his finger touched, the glass glowed softly. Somewhere else, a satellite picked up strange signals, a code no one had seen before. It matched the child's drawings, but no one could translate it. Back at the Earth Council room, General May stared at the screen. "What do we do now?" Director Lin answered quietly. "We don't have a plan. But maybe the child does." Inside the boy's room, the last line of his symbol started to glow brighter than the rest. It pulsed like a heartbeat. He whispered once again, in a voice not fully his own. Night had fallen over a quiet village near the mountains. The stars above looked peaceful, but the people below had no idea what was coming. High above Earth, alien ships were already on their way. At a small farm, an old man named Jacob was feeding his chickens when he heard a strange sound. A loud boom shook the ground. The sky lit up with a flash of fire. Something had crashed nearby. Jacob ran toward the smoke. He pushed through the trees and stopped. A small escape pod, shaped like a silver egg, had fallen from the sky. Its door was open. Flames danced around it. And standing in the middle of the fire was the child. The boy's clothes were burned, but his skin was untouched. The fire didn't hurt him. His eyes glowed softly in the dark. Jacob froze. "What? What are you?" The child looked at him. He only spoke one word, Vorkal. Back at the mountain base, alarms were ringing. The boy had escaped. No one knew how. Security doors hadn't been broken. They had simply opened by themselves. Dr. Khaled slammed his hand on the table. "We can't lose him now. He's the key to everything." General May turned to the screen. "Send a team. Find him. And keep him safe." Hours later, soldiers arrived at the farm. They found Jacob sitting on his porch, shaking his head. "He didn't hurt me," the old man said. "He just stared at the stars and whispered strange words. Then he disappeared." In the nearby field, the boy had drawn symbols again, this time in the dirt. A perfect circle with 3 arrows pointing out. It pulsed faintly, glowing in the night. One soldier touched it, and his radio exploded in his hand. Far above Earth, General Vorkal sat in his throne room. His eyes were locked on a screen showing the mountain base. He had hacked Earth's satellites. "Interesting," he said. "The humans have a secret. And secrets are fun to break." A Draxian officer stepped forward. "Shall we begin the soft invasion, General?" Vorkal smiled. "Yes, let's knock first, before we burn their house down." Meanwhile, back on Earth, Director Lin sat with Dr. Khaled in a lab. Old footage played on a screen. It showed the child 10 years ago, just after he was found. He was smaller then, quiet, but even then, strange things happened around him. Lights flickered when he walked by. Machines failed. One time, a drone simply fell from the sky when he looked at it. "He was found after the solar flare, right?" Lin asked. Khaled nodded. "The biggest one in human history. Every satellite was damaged. And then, he appeared." "Where did he come from?" she asked. "We don't know," Khaled whispered. "But I don't think he's fully human." In a dark cave in the mountains, the boy sat cross-legged on the ground. His hands moved slowly, tracing shapes in the dirt. The symbols glowed as he drew them. He was not scared. He was waiting. He closed his eyes and saw flashes, visions of the future. Ships falling from the sky, cities burning, people screaming, and Vorkal, standing over the ruins of Earth, laughing. But then, something changed. The boy saw himself standing between Earth and Vorkal. And Vorkal's laughter stopped. At the same time, the Earth Council made a decision. "We will not hide anymore," General May said. "It's time to fight. But not with weapons." Director Lin added. "With him." They launched Operation Echo, a mission to find the boy and ask for his help. As the sun rose, the boy walked out of the cave and stood on a hilltop. His eyes watched the sky. He could feel them coming. The Draxian ships. The invasion had started. Behind him, a black car arrived. 2 soldiers stepped out. They didn't aim their weapons. They just stood still. The boy turned. One soldier said, "We need your help. Earth is in danger." The boy looked up again. "I know," he said quietly. "Vorkal is near." In the stars above, Vorkal's ship broke through Earth's outer defenses. One satellite exploded. A warning beacon was destroyed. Vorkal stood proudly. "Soon," he said, "I will crush this planet." But somewhere below, a child was preparing. Not with guns, not with ships, but with something. The skies above Earth were no longer blue. One by one, the alien warships arrived, dark and huge. Their size blocked out the sun. People in cities across the world stopped in the streets and looked up, frozen in fear. Alarms rang everywhere. News channels showed the same headline: Earth under attack. The invasion has begun. General Vorkal stood at the front of his flagship. His red armor glowed with power. Behind him, thousands of Draxian soldiers were ready to attack. Vorkal raised his hand. "Start the ground assault," he commanded. "Let them feel our power." In New York City, alien pods fell from the sky like shooting stars. When they landed, they opened with a hiss, and tall, armored soldiers marched out, firing energy blasts. Earth's military responded quickly. Tanks rolled in. Jets flew overhead. But their weapons did little against the Draxian armor. Bullets bounced off. Missiles exploded harmlessly. In less than an hour, 3 cities were lost. Far away from the battlefield, the boy stood on a grassy hill with General May, Director Lin, and 2 soldiers. He watched the invasion calmly, without fear. "They came faster than we thought," General May said. The boy nodded. "They want the world to fall quickly," he said. "But it won't." Director Lin looked at him. "You're sure?" The boy's eyes glowed faintly. "Yes," he whispered. "But first, I must meet Vorkal." Inside the alien flagship, Vorkal was enjoying the chaos. He watched cities burn on his giant screen. "This is too easy," he said with a grin. "I expected more from Earth." Then a robot drone flew toward him. It carried a message. "General," it said, "we found the child." Vorkal laughed. "What child?" "The human anomaly, the one with strange energy. He's here, on the surface." Vorkal leaned forward. "Interesting. Bring him to me." "No need," the drone said. "He's coming to you." Moments later, a strange signal appeared near Vorkal's ship. No ship, no pod, just the child. He had somehow appeared in space, floating outside the alien warship, without a suit, without a ship, just standing in the vacuum. "How is this possible?" one Draxian officer gasped. Vorkal stared at the screen. "Bring him in. Now." The ship pulled the boy inside using a gravity beam. When he landed, the Draxian soldiers surrounded him. They scanned him. "No weapons," the officer said. "No armor, just a human child." Vorkal laughed again. "You walk into my ship, child," he said. "Do you want to beg for your planet's life?" The boy looked around the room. His voice was calm. "No, I came to warn you." Vorkal smirked. "Warn me? Of what?" The boy's eyes glowed brighter. "Your armor," he said. "It's already broken." Everyone in the room stopped moving. Vorkal raised an eyebrow. "You dare speak to me like this?" He stepped forward and reached for the child's shoulder. As soon as he touched him, a wave of energy pulsed through the ship. Lights flickered. The ground shook. Machines exploded. One alien soldier screamed and collapsed. The child stood still. "You don't understand what I am," he said softly. Vorkal pulled back. For the first time, he looked unsure. "What are you?" he asked. "I was born human," the child said. "But something else touched me. Something from the stars." Back on Earth, the alien soldiers suddenly stopped moving. Their weapons powered down. Their helmets cracked. The boy wasn't fighting them with fists or guns. He was breaking them from the inside, through the systems they didn't know could be touched. On the alien ship, Vorkal growled. "You think you scare me, child. I've killed thousands. I've crushed planets." The child stepped closer. "I'm not here to scare you," he said. "I'm here to end you." He raised his hand, and the walls of the ship began to bend. Metal groaned. Screens shattered. Vorkal tried to attack, but his weapon fell apart in his hands. The boy whispered something in a language no one understood. And then, he vanished. Back on Earth, General May received a message. The child is inside Vorkel's ship. He's alive. Director Lin smiled for the first time in days. Then we still have a chance. Inside the alien flagship, Vorkel stood alone in the broken command room. His soldiers were gone. His systems were failing. The walls were cracked. He looked at the spot where the boy had stood. "This isn't over," he hissed. "I will crush this world, even if I must do it with my own hands." But deep inside, a shadow of fear had entered his mind. The alien flagship floated above Earth, damaged and silent. Inside, General Vorkel sat in the dark. Sparks flew from broken wires. His armor, once bright red, was cracked. Around him, the bodies of Draxian soldiers lay still, knocked out by the strange energy wave. He clenched his fists. "That child," he growled. "What is he?" On Earth, in a secret mountain base, Director Lin stared at a glowing screen. A single word blinked. "Connected." "He did it," she whispered. "He reached the ship." General May stood beside her. "Did he destroy it?" "No," Lin replied. "But he touched its systems. No one has ever done that. Not even us. The child doesn't fight like we do. He doesn't need guns." Dr. Khalid added, "He fights through frequencies, energy, code. His mind is the weapon." General May nodded slowly. "Then it's time we let him use it." Far away, in a quiet forest, the boy stood by a river. His clothes were torn. His hands were covered in dirt, but his eyes glowed brighter than ever. He looked at the water. It rippled, even though there was no wind. Suddenly, he spoke, not to anyone near him, but to someone far, far away. "Vorkel, you're afraid." High above, in the alien ship, Vorkel heard the voice in his mind. He stood up, breathing hard. "Stop this. I am Vorkel, destroyer of 9 worlds." The voice answered calmly. "You've never faced Earth. Not like this." In the base, scientists watched the screens. Strange symbols appeared again, symbols the boy had drawn. They formed a pattern. "It's a map," Dr. Khalid said. "A map of what?" someone asked. "Energy points," Lin replied. "He's showing us how to reach their ships, not with missiles, but with his power." Meanwhile, across Earth, resistance fighters were rising. Soldiers, farmers, teachers, ordinary people were taking a stand. In London, a girl hacked into an alien drone using one of the boy's symbols. In Tokyo, a mechanic built an EMP cannon based on the patterns the child left behind. All around the world, people were not giving up. The boy had become a signal of hope. But the child wasn't finished. That night, he stood on a cliff, arms raised to the sky. The clouds above began to swirl. Lightning struck the ground near him, but he didn't move. In his mind, he reached out, into space, into machines, into the hearts of people. And he saw everything. He saw Earth's pain. He saw the power of Vorkel's army. He saw fear. But he also saw fire. The fire inside humans that refused to die. Vorkel watched from his damaged ship. "He's growing stronger," one Draxian officer said, limping. Vorkel didn't reply. The ship's systems flickered. One screen showed the child standing on Earth, glowing like a star. "Enough," Vorkel growled. "I will go myself. I will face him." The next day, a black pod fell from the sky and landed in the forest. The trees burned around it. From the smoke, Vorkel stepped out. His armor was reforged. His eyes burned with rage. The boy was waiting. They stood across from each other, in silence. "You are brave," Vorkel said, "but foolish." "You are strong," the boy replied, "but blind." Vorkel raised his arm. A weapon formed from his gauntlet. "You had your chance," he said. "Now you die." He fired. The blast hit the ground, but the boy was gone. He appeared behind Vorkal without making a sound. "Too slow," the boy said. He touched the alien's armor, and it shattered like glass. Vorkal roared in pain. "You are not human," he growled. "I was," the boy said, "but Earth made me more." In the base, Director Lin stared at the satellite feed. "They're fighting," she whispered. "Not with armies, but with will." General May clenched her fists. "Come on, kid." Back in the forest, Vorkal swung with all his strength. The boy caught his fist and pushed him back with a blast of invisible energy. Trees bent, rocks flew, the earth cracked. Vorkal fell to one knee. He looked up, breathing heavily. "Why?" he asked. "Why do you protect them? They are weak." The boy looked at the sky. "Because they don't give up," he said. "Even when they're afraid, even when they're broken. That is not weakness. That is strength." Then, with a final word, the boy spoke in the ancient language, the same one Vorkal's people once feared. The ground shook. Vorkal screamed. Light exploded around them. And then, silence. Far above, the alien ship powered down completely. The rest of the invasion forces began to fall, disconnected from their leader, broken by the signal, lost in confusion. The sky was clear, but the war was far from over. General Vorkal was alive, but broken. His armor was cracked, his pride shattered. He sat alone in a dark cave on Earth, far from his great ship and his army. "This isn't over," Vorkal whispered to himself. "They think they have won, but I will show them the true meaning of fear." His eyes burned red with anger. Back at the mountain base, General May and Director Lin watched Earth's defenses slowly recover. The invasion had lost momentum, but it was still dangerous. "We can't relax yet," General May said. "Vorkal is still alive. He will strike back." Director Lin nodded. "And now he knows the child's power. He will try to destroy him, or use him." Far away, in the forest, the boy sat quietly beside a small fire. His eyes were tired but focused. He knew Vorkal was planning something. Suddenly, his connection to Earth's machines pulsed. A warning. "They're coming," he said. Vorkal's army was regrouping. Despite the damage, thousands of Draxian soldiers were preparing for one last attack. Vorkal had sent a message to every ship. "Destroy the child. Destroy Earth's hope." The boy stood at the edge of the forest. Around him, soldiers and civilians had gathered, people who believed in him. He raised his hand, and symbols appeared in the air, glowing and moving like a dance of light. "Hold the line," he told them. "We fight with mind and heart." Suddenly, the sky darkened again. Alien warships returned, faster and more furious. Lasers cut through the air. Explosions shook the ground. The battle had begun. General May led the defense with fierce determination. "Protect the child," she shouted. But the boy didn't hide. He moved into the open, calm as the storm around him. He closed his eyes and reached out. Inside the alien ships, strange things happened. Weapons stopped working. Engines failed. The boy's power was growing stronger. His mind reached into the machines and shut them down from within. One by one, the alien ships began to fall. But Vorkal was not finished. He appeared on the battlefield, stronger and more terrifying than ever. His armor was reforged with dark metal that pulsed like a living thing. He raised a new weapon, a glowing sword crackling with energy. "Today, Earth will kneel," he roared. The boy met Vorkal on a wide plain. The ground cracked beneath them. "Why do you fight?" Vorkal demanded. "Because Earth will never stop fighting," the boy replied. They clashed. Energy sparks flew as sword met power. The boy's light burned bright, but Vorkal's dark strength pushed back hard. Around them, the battle raged. Earth's soldiers fought bravely, inspired by the boy's courage. Vorkal's soldiers fought fiercely, fueled by their leader's wrath. The fight was not just between two warriors, it was the battle for Earth's future. Suddenly, Vorkal struck hard. The boy stumbled. The sword grazed his arm. He fell to one knee, pain burning through him. Vorkal laughed cruelly. "Your power is nothing." But the boy looked up. His eyes blazed with a new strength. "This is not just my power," he said. "It's Earth's power. The power of every person who refuses to give up." He stood, stronger than before. With a shout, he sent a wave of energy toward Vorkal. The alien screamed as the light hit him. His armor cracked, his weapon shattered. Vorkal fell to the ground, defeated. For the first time, he felt fear. "Why?" he whispered. "Because you forgot one thing," the boy said. "Humans may be weak, but their spirit is unbreakable." The alien ships began to retreat. Earth was safe, for now. General May smiled with relief. Director The sky was clear, but the war was far from over. General Vorkal was alive, but broken. His armor was cracked, his pride shattered. He sat alone in a dark cave on Earth, far from his great ship and his army. "This isn't over," Vorkal whispered to himself. "They think they have won. But I will show them the true meaning of fear." His eyes burned red with anger. Back at the mountain base, General May and Director Lin watched Earth's defenses slowly recover. The invasion had lost momentum, but it was still dangerous. "We can't relax yet," General May said. "Vorkal is still alive. He will strike back." Director Lin nodded. "And now he knows the child's power. He will try to destroy him, or use him." Far away, in the forest, the boy sat quietly beside a small fire. His eyes were tired but focused. He knew Vorkal was planning something. Suddenly, his connection to Earth's machines pulsed. A warning. "They're coming," he said. Vorkal's army was regrouping. Despite the damage, thousands of Draxian soldiers were preparing for one last attack. Vorkal had sent a message to every ship. "Destroy the child. Destroy Earth's hope." The boy stood at the edge of the forest. Around him, soldiers and civilians had gathered, people who believed in him. He raised his hand, and symbols appeared in the air, glowing and moving like a dance of light. "Hold the line," he told them. "We fight with mind and heart." Suddenly, the sky darkened again. Alien warships returned, faster and more furious. Lasers cut through the air. Explosions shook the ground. The battle had begun. General May led the defense with fierce determination. "Protect the child," she shouted. But the boy didn't hide. He moved into the open, calm as the storm around him. He closed his eyes and reached out. Inside the alien ships, strange things happened. Weapons stopped working. Engines failed. The boy's power was growing stronger. His mind reached into the machines and shut them down from within. One by one, the alien ships began to fall. But Vorkal was not finished. He appeared on the battlefield, stronger and more terrifying than ever. His armor was reforged with dark metal that pulsed like a living thing. He raised a new weapon, a glowing sword crackling with energy. "Today, Earth will kneel," he roared. The boy met Vorkal on a wide plain. The ground cracked beneath them. "Why do you fight?" Vorkal demanded. "Because Earth will never stop fighting," the boy replied. They clashed. Energy sparks flew as sword met power. The boy's light burned bright, but Vorkal's dark strength pushed back hard. Around them, the battle raged. Earth's soldiers fought bravely, inspired by the boy's courage. Vorkal's soldiers fought fiercely, fueled by their leader's wrath. The fight was not just between two warriors. It was the battle for Earth's future. Suddenly, Vorkal struck hard. The boy stumbled. The sword grazed his arm. He fell to one knee, pain burning through him. Vorkal laughed cruelly. "Your power is nothing." But the boy looked up. His eyes blazed with a new strength. "This is not just my power," he said. It's Earth's power, the power of every person who refuses to give up. He stood, stronger than before. With a shout, he sent a wave of energy toward Vorkal. The alien screamed as the light hit him. His armor cracked, his weapon shattered. Vorkal fell to the ground, defeated. For the first time, he felt fear. "Why?" he whispered. "Because you forgot one thing," the boy said. "Humans may be weak, but their spirit is unbreakable." The alien ships began to retreat. Earth was safe, for now. General May smiled with relief. Director